Hey viewers, my name's Cara. This is going to be kind of a stream of consciousness video, I guess, because I wanted to sit down and do some topic videos, maybe that had been Pagan Perspective Subs-Week topics that I wanted to cover, because I feel like there have been some lately that I've been thinking of, and thinking, oh, I should make a video on that on my personal channel. And then I just went back and looked through the list and I didn't find any of those things that I thought I wanted to do. So then I checked my list on my phone of my video ideas, but none of them are things that I can really just talk about in the car. They're kind of like either prep work things or they're, I don't know, just separate things. So I am sitting in the park in the center of my town. I just left the library because they close at 5 o'clock on Sundays during the winter, and I don't have to be at the theater until 6. So I wanted to record some videos in between, but I can't really think of a topic that I want to do. So I'm just sitting here doing stream of consciousness, talking, because people are walking around. People are walking their dogs. There are a lot of couples walking around with their phones out, which makes me think that they're playing Pokemon Go again. I've never played Pokemon Go. I know a lot of people were really into it and then have not played it in forever. And now it seems like some people are starting to get back into it. So I don't know, that's a thing. It's a really beautiful day out again in February. We had another really nice day like this a few days ago, and it's just kind of been fluctuating. Like, we'll have a really wonderful sunny warm day in the 50s like this, 50s Fahrenheit, by the way, and then the next day the ground will be covered in snow again. Like, it's just been very crazy. So it's nice when we get a little bit of sun, especially because it helps our mood, it helps our energy levels. But it's a little concerning, like, why has this been happening so much, you know, like what's going on with the climate. But, you know, hey, I'm gonna take it for the couple of days that I can, and we do still get like crazy snow in the other days. So there's that. I guess I could talk about the fact that I am crazy. I have alluded to this. I've talked about it in my Instagram stories, and I've talked about it. I may have tweeted about it. I may have alluded to it in videos. I can't really remember. But I know I told my Patreon sponsors earlier than everybody else, because I like to give them, you know, behind the scenes, early information kind of stuff. Side note, that's another thing I wanted to do today while I was at the library. I wanted to work on redoing some of my Patreon rewards and figure out who I'm going to give what rewards to. My laptop is really old at this point, and it runs super slow, and the Wi-Fi at my apartment isn't great either. So between those two things, I do get some work done at home. It just tends to be things that I have to leave hours of time for. So like, if it's the middle of the night and I really have to upload a video, I can upload a video at home on my slow computer with my slow internet. It just takes a long time, so I let it upload overnight. It's no big deal. But if I want to do something quickly, or if I want to actually sit and work on something, like captioning videos or anything that's going to take a good amount of work and want the, you know, the screen to refresh fast enough and just everything to work quickly, I go to the library for that, because just, it's so much faster there. Literally, a video that will take 3 to 4 hours to upload at home will upload in 2 minutes at the library. Like, uploaded, processed, everything. So I went there today. I just uploaded my 10 questions that every tarot reader must answer, which is last weekend's video from the time you're seeing this. I uploaded that and scheduled it, so actually it should be up now. At the moment that I am recording this, it has just gone public. And I also scheduled my next 2 videos, one of which you will have seen by the time you see this. This past Wednesday, you will have seen my OREN 2016 Weekend 1 video vlog. And then on the 28th, the last day of this month, you will see the second and last vlog that I have from OREN 2016. So I scheduled those today. I feel so good about it. I took a couple hours at the library. I did all that. I did my descriptions. I made a thumbnail for this past weekend's video. I scheduled them all. I scheduled them all in Patreon. So everything is all set. I'm so glad that we can schedule posts in Patreon now. We used to not be able to do that. So even if I wanted to schedule a video in advance, I would still have to remember to go in and put it on Patreon that day, or, you know, whatever. So I'm so glad that I can schedule things now so they happen all at the same time automatically. It's great. Anyway, that's what I was doing today. End side note. So the reason that I was hanging out at the library and then, I'm sitting here now is that I don't have to be at rehearsal yet. And the reason that I'm crazy, and the thing that I've mentioned to some people before now, but I'm now telling all of you, is okay, this is gonna sound like tooting my own horn a little bit, but when I say this, it's definitely a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. So, like, don't worry, I don't think I'm that big of a deal. But in my community theater, which is a small community, that's what community theater is, apparently I somehow became the #1 go-to stage manager. So there literally are not that many stage managerial people to choose from. Also, because all of us are also actors, there was a lot of A's in that sentence. Pretty much everybody who stage manages at my theater is also an actor. So anything that we are auditioning for that we're hoping to act in, we can't stage manage. And there are some people who always work with the same directors over and over. I tend to work with the same 2 directors most of the time. That's just how it's worked out. Those are the shows I'm interested in. We have similar tastes, so we end up being interested in the same shows. And then, of course, if I've worked with someone before and they really like me, they will request that I work with them again because we work well together. But somehow, apparently, what has happened is there are so few available people to choose from now who stage manage that I was asked to take on another stage managerial position for another show this season that I was not planning on doing. I planned on doing every other show this season. We do 6 of them, so I either do 1, 3, and 5 or 2, 4, and 6. It's just wise because the way that a theater season works, those of you who are theater people will know this, those of you who may not be familiar with the theatrical process may not know this, but when you look at the dates that a show is running, if you're talking about a touring theater or something, then it's very possible that that show is just like pulling up that weekend, setting up, doing their show, packing up and leaving and going somewhere else. They've done their rehearsal process somewhere else entirely, and they're just coming around to tour. So that's a much more streamlined clockwork type process if you're talking about a touring theater. But when you're talking about a local theater, even there's a lot of them in the Cleveland area, just a small theater where they actually do their auditions, their rehearsals, and put up their shows all within the same space. That typically is like an 8 to 12 week process depending on what it is. So shows have been rehearsing generally within that same space around that same time for the previous 8 weeks to when they go up. But shows go up like every month. So there's a significant amount of overlap between when one show is going up, the next show has already been rehearsing for a while before they go up, and the next show has been rehearsing since midway through that one. So it's just a smart thing to do if you're someone like me who's not doing this alone full time. Theater is not the only thing I do full time, is what I'm trying to say. It's wise to skip every other show because then you don't go crazy. However, I was in the first show of the season, I stage managed the 3rd show of the season, and I am stage managing currently the 5th show of the season. But they needed a stage manager for the 6th and final show of the season, and I have been the stage manager for the last show of the season for the past 2 years. It's our spring musical, so I have done that. But this year, it's not the same director, but it is the same choreographer, and so they got one of the same producers that I've worked with kind of last minute. They didn't have a producer, they didn't have a stage manager, so they called my producer friend, and she of course said, well, I'm going to call Cara and see if she wants to do this because she could use the extra pay and she's used to this and she's really good and whatever. Well, it also is like I'm one of the only people right now. So when I say I'm the go-to #1 choice, do not think that I'm just getting a big head about this. I am good at what I do. I know that's not something that you guys get to see very often, but I am very organizationally minded. I am not the best at scheduling my personal life, like as far as just being accountable to my own schedule. But when there's a set schedule that a director has made that I have to stick to, I'm really good at that. And if I had better Wi-Fi and a better laptop at home, I'd have an even easier time of keeping people updated on emails and stuff like that, because I get behind on things like that because of the technology capabilities. But the organization and keeping people on track of where they're supposed to go is my thing. So what has happened is I'm currently stage managing a show, and they got me to do the last one, which has already begun auditions, and they are starting rehearsals this week, so like tomorrow. Meanwhile, I still have 3 weeks left of the current show that I'm stage managing, so I'm not going to be available for the other show, for the musical, for 3 weeks, because I'm going to be stage managing the play that I'm currently working on. So I'm crazy because I need to find an assistant, first of all, to help me with the other show. I've never needed an assistant stage manager before because I've always just been able to do it, but especially with it overlapping like this, I need someone who can be at the other place to keep track of things and tell me about things when I can't be there. And I recently got, this is another thing I wanted to share, I found this at the dollar store. It was $1. It's a 2-year planner for 2017 2018, and it's got photos in it with heart-shaped things, which is so cute. But it's just a little paper monthly planner, so it's only got the monthly view. And this is perfect for me because I use this kind of thing to write down my overall schedule for like when my rehearsals are, when shows happen, when red tent is, when the course that I'm working on currently, when we move from one lunar cycle to the other. So I mark the full moons and the new moons and what I'm working on. If I'm working on any kind of weekly course, I write down what week I'm working on, stuff like that. But I also use it to keep track of my videos that I post and when I've scheduled them and when they're going to be going up. So that's why I really like to have this paper thing, and I like that it's a small one that I can put in my bag because I can bring it to the library and sit down at the computer, and while I'm working I can be scheduling things. So this is the current month. I've just scheduled a couple new things, and I've color-coded the dates of my rehearsals that I have to do. So you can see in March I have tech rehearsal, tech week, and shows of my play. The play is orange, and then the musical is in blue. So all of these days, I have the other rehearsal is going on while I'm going to be in my tech rehearsals. So I'm not going to be able to be there. And then down here, I finally have only those. So there are no nights except like that first weekend, and then like the last day of the month are the only nights that I have an evening free. So I really have to use my daytime hours wisely, especially in March. And then in April, the first show will be done and I will only be concentrating on the musical. But yeah, it's just crazy. And so I like having the organization and whatnot. I also like notated when Mercury goes retrograde because the bigger paper planner that I have at home that I don't carry around in my bag because it's kind of heavy, but I use it at home, that one is like a pagan calendar. So it has lots of different world religious holidays in it, but it also has things like solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, solstices and equinoxes, all the Sabbats, and things like when Mercury goes retrograde. So that's kind of cool. I've also started using my pencil case again. I bought this at the dollar store years ago and never used it. It's a periodic table of cats, basically. It's kind of cute. I just thought it was adorable, so I had to have it, but now I'm actually using it, so I take that to rehearsal. And what time is it right now? Let's see. It's 1:15 right now. My water bottle, I think, is empty. Not quite, but almost. We'll fill that up when we get to the theater. I'm actually not going to the theater. I'm going to the rehearsal space. We do have multiple spaces, but there's not many, and there's a lot that goes on at my theater because there are also classes that go on throughout the day, and it's not just acting-related classes, but like arts classes will happen there too. Like anyone from the community can teach like a crochet class, or there's a drawing class, there's a sewing class, anything like that. You can apply to teach classes, and then they'll schedule them if it's something that they want to have. So it's a very busy place, and there's really only 3 spaces available for rehearsals. We have 2 rehearsal spaces, and then we have the theater itself. They're looking to expand, which will be nice, but there's just kind of a lot going on with the theater right now. There's a lot that is not organized super well, and so that definitely puts a strain on top of the strain that I already feel from trying to work on 2 overlapping shows. And people who do this professionally, like people who stage manage professionally, they're used to this. This isn't a big deal for them, but this is the first time that I've ever worked on 2 shows overlapping, doing the same job for both. Not this past winter, but I think the winter before was the first time I had ever worked on 2 shows consecutively, but I was acting in the first one and then stage managing the one that was coming up next. So it was a very different thing. I wasn't having to organize 2 shows overlapping. I was just in one, and I had to deal with being at my performances and then being at my rehearsals for the stage managing one when I could. So that was very different. So this is the first time that I'm doing 2 stage managing roles at the same time. So I'm expanding my repertoire, and I'm doing new things within the things that I've been doing for years. So it's kind of cool, it's kind of crazy, and I don't know what's gonna happen with my channel during the month of March. All I can say is that I love the scheduling feature because I'm probably gonna have to pick certain days like today where I'm just in the mood to record videos, and I'll have to really keep a list and get everything ready when I can, and then on the day that I'm ready to record, just record multiple videos, edit them throughout the month whenever I can, and get them up for you on a regular basis. That'll be the goal. And also, I talked about wanting to do a course about Saturn returns in my Saturn return video recently, which I'll probably put a card or an end card or something to refer to that if you haven't seen it. But I do want to do that, and I think it'll be best over a 4-month period, doing like 2 lessons per month. So every other week there'll be a new thing, and then throughout the month there will be other little things that we work on as a group. So just realizing how busy the month of March is going to be for me, I think I've decided that I'm going to use the month of March to plan everything out and get information to you guys about how that's going to work, get people signed up for it, and then we'll actually start the first one in April. So it'll be April, May, June, July, and then I would love to do a second round of it in August, September, October, and November, and then the beginning of the Saturn return phase is in December. In December, Saturn returns to the astrological sign of Capricorn. So that is when it'll be, taking place for the earliest people within the age group of having Saturn in Capricorn. And then for the rest of us, it'll continue over the next 3 years after that. So, like, for me, the moment doesn't happen until I'm 29, but it begins this December. So I would love to get 2 rounds of it in this year, if we can, if there's enough people interested in that. I have also already made plans for Dayton Pagan Pride this year. I can't tell you anything really specific. I can just tell you that I'm planning on being there. They haven't confirmed the date for sure of when it'll be, but they're keeping me updated, and I will be doing some fun things. So as we confirm more and I decide exactly what I want to be doing and whether or not I'm going to have a vending booth there and stuff like that, I will keep you updated. I will also be present at Cleveland area Pagan Pride as usual. At least that is my plan right now. But as of now, I am not vending or anything there. I do also have to decide what workshop I'm going to do there this year, because I would love to do a workshop there this year. So yeah, that's just kind of all the kind of stuff that's going on in my life planning wise. And right now, there's puppies. There's like a big group of people walking big dogs, big puppies. They look like Australian shepherds, maybe? Like some kind of sheepdog. Those aren't necessarily the same thing, are they? Yeah, they are, sort of. I'm gonna stop. Anyway, I'm gonna head over to the theater, rehearsal space. I just say theater, whatever, I'm going. I brought some granola bars and peanuts with me for my snack, because that's the only bad thing, is like when I leave the house and I want to stay gone, I don't go back home just to eat and then come back out here. So I have to eat before I leave, and then I leave and I bring snacks with me, because otherwise I have to go somewhere and buy food, which is just not a thing right now. I realized that, like, if I were following last month's format, then this video, the last weekend video of the month, would be my February favorites. Instead, I'm doing this weird stream of consciousness telling you about all the craziness in my life. So I guess if I had to say February more and less right now, I want more organization, more sunny days, or at least the feeling of sunny days, more of these good energy days where I feel really productive. I've had so many awesomely productive days recently in February, and that has just felt so good. Valentine's Day was a hugely productive day for me, and I just like ran around, got all my stuff done. I shipped stuff. I shipped Etsy orders at the post office. I went to the library and got some work done. So I want more productive days, for sure. More organization, more meeting new people, because I met a lot of new people at the auditions for the musical, a lot of people who have never worked at our theater before or who I had never worked with before, and I feel like I made some friends even just from that. I made some people's days. I got a really nice message from an older woman who had auditioned, and I had stopped her before she left and told her that I really enjoyed her audition. I did. It was clear that she was having a lot of fun reciting. It was a song that she was reciting as a monologue as part of her reading audition, and she was just super fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I could tell that she loved it. And I actually got a message from her today because we didn't end up casting her in the show, but she messaged me to say thank you because that made her feel like the concert that she had turned down on that day to be there for auditions made her feel like it wasn't such a waste after all, because she at least made a few people smile, you know, and I really did legitimately enjoy it. So that was cool. So more of that. Less fatigue and tiredness, because I'm still having trouble getting my sleep schedule back on track. I would like less of that issue, please, universe. More battery power, less time for my videos to render. More tea dates with people at the Chinese restaurant, because that's always really nice. Whenever people want to take me out to eat, they typically take me to the Chinese place because I love the tofu there, and we always have tea. And less garbled communication, less communication problems. And it's not just Mercury, because Mercury is not retrograde, it's just some people can't seem to talk to each other. So less of that. Okay, so there was a little mini February more or less within this stream of consciousness. I will let you go now. Remember to look out for my last video of the month will be the second and last O-Ren vlog. That'll be going up on the 28th. And there are links in the description to all kinds of pertinent things, sponsoring my videos on Patreon, my Etsy shop, readings, links to where you can help caption my videos and videos on the Pagan Perspective collab. Just all kinds of interesting things are down in the descriptions of my videos, so check that out. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye. Oh, and don't worry about this. It's just my pinched nerve is acting up and I wear this sometimes. It's fine.